From sunny San Diego, the American Diabetes Association is thrilled to call California home for the 83rd Scientific Sessions, bringing together the world's leading physicians, scientists, and healthcare professionals who are all working tirelessly to treat diabetes. Welcome to the San Diego Convention Center and to Scientific Session 23. I'm your host, Autria Godfrey, and this is ADA TV. All week, we will be bringing you the very latest in diabetes research and treatments through sit-down interviews with ADA executives, leading researchers, and physicians. We will also be highlighting this year's award winners blazing new trails in the fight against diabetes and taking you inside the big changes to this year's scientific sessions by finding out what's new and noteworthy this year. Plus, all week, we will be highlighting the incredible organizations and institutions breaking new ground in diabetes research and patient care. There is so much to see, and we want to make sure you never miss a minute. Remember, you can always find the latest ADA TV episodes on our TVs placed throughout the Convention Center, on the in-house channel at several of our partner hotels, on the shuttle buses to and from the venue, on the ADA Scientific Session website, and on our Twitter and YouTube pages. We kick things off today with a visit to Walmart, where they are the destination for holistic diabetes care management, all in one place, with a focus on supporting customers with high-quality, affordable diabetes care products, services, and education.
Underserved medical communities, particularly older adults, rural residents, specific minority populations, and individuals with low socioeconomic status are often overlooked in healthcare research, and Walmart is committed to changing this. The Walmart Healthcare Research Institute was started really to bring research to our communities. And what's important about that is many of our customers and patients were not exposed to that. So we have the real unique opportunity to allow a patient or a customer to really understand a particular disease state, get involved with a medication that might be impactful to them or their families, and really try to improve equity amongst our communities.
Next, we head to Temple University, where the Lewis Katz School of Medicine is leveraging data science to improve the lives of people with diabetes. Let's take a tour.
My research through the Center for Biostatistics and Epidemiology began a little over a decade ago. At the time, there was a lot of interest in hospital readmissions, but there was not a lot of attention being paid to people with diabetes. So we set out to better understand why people come back to the hospital when they have diabetes, and we did a number of studies in both qualitative and quantitative work.
This is an exciting time for research here at Temple, particularly as we look to what we call translational research. So our basic scientists in the Lewis Katz School of Medicine and Temple University working side by side with our clinicians.
So in the next 5 years, I think we're going to continue this trend toward increased use of artificial intelligence and machine learning to better develop predictive models to help people with diabetes.
The Diabetes Center Bern aims to improve the day-to-day lives of people living with diabetes by developing key technologies used in monitoring and data analysis. DCB offers access to clinical research insights, community-driven technology innovations, and collaborative partnerships to help bring new products to market. Next stop, Switzerland.
The vision of the Diabetes Center Bern is rather simple. We want to improve the life for us people living with diabetes. We foster innovation, we help startups to bring their products to the market. You need to understand where your blood glucose levels are, you need to inject insulin, you need to treat yourself. The technology is the fundament, the basis.
We developed a research device. We sooner or later talk to industry partners to try to bring that device into practice. Partners could be medical device manufacturers or also pharma companies, but also people who are interested in maybe building a startup.
Diabetes technology in the next 10 to 20 years, you will have tools and technologies which help you to optimize your treatment and therefore have a positive outcome.
As we welcome you to this exciting first day, let's begin with a look ahead at what's in store in the coming days.
We really wanted to innovate. The meeting's been largely the same format, more or less, for the last 3 decades that I've been attending, and so we got a lot of great feedback, and we're making it more interactive.
Each year we want to make it better, more engaging, more exciting for people. And I think this year people can be really impressed with it because we've done quite a few changes, all geared towards improving the experience.
So this year we have a lot of innovative things. Overall it's shorter, crisper, more interactive. There are polling sessions, and then we've got tracks for different professional types to help guide them to some of the things they might be most interested in. You can find that in the app. The debates are real debates where people get to go back and forth a lot. We have Ask the Experts where people can bring their challenging patient cases and have discussions. And then we have a professional development track that's got some neat elements in it.
We have started the meeting now with an opening plenary, a welcome plenary to bring people together with a really exciting keynote lecture by Francis Collins. And we're also having in that some panel discussion among leaders in diabetes research. And on top of that, in a nod to all the young investigators, we're having a pathway symposium with rapid fire talks from 5 investigators.
We also have a wonderful Friday big opening networking opportunity where everybody gets together. We'll all be in the exhibit hall together, and there'll be a ribbon cutting ceremony as we open the exhibit hall to everybody to arrive.
There's no skimping on science here at the ADA. We have over 190 and more sessions. We have posters, we have e-posters, and you'll see from the various debates and various panel discussions and so on, there's more and more opportunities to engage with the speakers and the science. And I think that with the new formats that we have now, I think that it's more and more opportunities for people to really go deep inside their area and then learn from broader areas to enrich their own work.
We really hope that attendees coming to scientific sessions learn something new that'll help them in their career, that'll help them in doing the work they do, whether they're a researcher or a clinician, and ultimately to help people living with diabetes.
Next, let's head to Ohio, where the Cleveland Clinic's Endocrinology and Metabolism Institute is committed to providing the highest quality health care for patients with diabetes, endocrine and metabolic disorders, and obesity. Let's take a closer look at all the work they are doing.
We have a very large endocrinology institute. Our role is to try to provide the best optimal care to patients. Our approach to diabetes is through what we call a adipocentric approach. We care about improving the hemoglobin A1C, addressing any potential complications because of the diabetes, but our main effort is addressing the weight. With a very integrated approach, we have endocrinologists, we have obesity specialists, nutritionists, psychologists, exercise physiologists, social workers, working under the same roof to proportionate and to facilitate great care, not only today, but long term.
Staying in Ohio now, where the state has achieved the dubious distinction of having a death rate from diabetes and its complications twice as high as the national average and 4 times as high for African Americans, Hispanic, and Native American women. Let's take a look at the work being done at the University of Toledo's Center for Diabetes and Endocrine Research to treat and care for patients with diabetes and metabolic syndrome.
The Center for Diabetes and Endocrine Research was established with the mission to foster the interdepartmental communication and research of the translational nature on diabetes and diabetic complications. We are a relatively small college where the communication between the basic researchers and clinical researchers is very close. We have a teaching hospital on the campus, so all of this is really very well posed for fostering translational research.
Our research teams at Cedar have a really unique approach, and that is to take diabetes as the model and then use cutting-edge approaches to explore different complications like complications in bone and in fertility and other areas to really advance science.
Now, we discover how a pioneering team in rural Montana has harnessed the power of technology and embraced innovative approaches to transform diabetes care, improving the lives of patients in remote areas. We take a tour of the Billings Clinic.
Billings Clinic is a physician-led, integrated, multi-specialty group practice and the largest healthcare organization in Montana. We cover a very large geographical area, equivalent to the distance between Chicago and Washington, D.C. We employ about 4,700 employees and over 600 physicians, physician assistants, and nurse practitioners.
How do we follow patients through our entire process is mostly dealing with, if we're talking about diabetes in particularly, it's a chronic illness. So it's not like, hey, come into the office, we'll get you fixed, and then you go. They're here on a routine basis, on a regular basis. So trying to keep track of that, really the electronic health record is our biggest factor there.
And so EndoDigital has a great component of it where it has artificial intelligence. So that's something that we can use. I personally have not seen anything like EndoDigital. It is kind of, I feel like it's cutting edge in diabetes technology.
As we mentioned earlier, there have been some exciting changes made to this year's program, all based on feedback from you. Joining us now here in the ADA TV studio to discuss is Dr. Alice Chain, Planning Committee Chair. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with some of the most common feedback that you were hearing from attendees in years past.
So I think the most common feedback had to do with timing and had to do with interaction. So in terms of timing, I think one of the things that was requested was maybe rethinking the previous model of having sessions start kind of Friday afternoon-ish and then finish Tuesday, but rather compacting it so that we could ensure better attendance to every session. And as well, I think for travel accommodations, it was a lot easier. So therefore, this year is the first year that we're trying out a slightly different model, whereby we start on Friday morning, and then we finish Monday afternoon, and then therefore people can travel home either Monday night or on Tuesday and seem to maybe compact that learning a little bit more. So that's one big change. And then the other one, which is very exciting, is even more interaction, because that was something that I think attendees really wanted. That was one of the real values of conferences in the first place, is the networking. So now there'll be more polling questions, longer Q&As, and then debates and panel discussions and things like that.
Why is it that attendees are so looking for that added networking connection?
I think that's what we're hungry for, right? Because we're essentially a large group of diabetes geeks. There's no other way to describe it, right? I mean, we're choosing to come together and talk about a subject that we all love. with slightly different aspects, and it's an opportunity to meet others who are like-minded and be able to have those nerdy conversations, which is really fun.
Okay, looking ahead to today, some very exciting things happening here on Friday. What do we have to look forward to?
So one of the changes we made was we're going to kick off the conference all together, and that's a little different than what we've done in the past. So we're going to have a kickoff session at 10:30 in the morning, which is a keynote address from Dr. Francis Collins, who is the former director of the NIH, and the topic is going to be on the omics revolution provides new insights for diabetes. So we're going to start talking about omics, all sorts of omics, which is a fun word to say. So I look forward to that keynote address. And then later on, we're going to have at 12:45, not one, not two, but 3 debates at the same time. So it's going to be a bit challenging to decide which one you're actually going to go to. But the one that I personally am favoring is one that's called Are Two Better Than One? And it's a debate looking at initial combination therapy, but it's the debaters that I'm excited about. It's sort of two giants in diabetes, so it's Drs. Ralph DeFranzo as well as David Nathan. So that's going to be really exciting to watch the two giants battle it out. And then later in the afternoon, at 3:45, there's a panel discussion looking at remission or bust, which I think is a very hot topic in diabetes, about the concept of diabetes remission. So I think that'll be interesting. And then as well, around the same time, I think a huge draw for everyone is going to be the SURMOUNT-2 trial results. Now, SURMOUNT-2 is a randomized controlled trial looking at the dual agonists of GIP, GLP-1, tirzepatide in obesity, but in type 2 diabetes. So it'll be really exciting to see the full results and see whether it's sort of similar to what we've seen with other obesity studies in diabetes and the differences in effect. And then the very last thing is going to be at 5:30. There's a debate in obesity that's called Hope or Hype, and it's the role of microbiome in obesity, which is, I think, another frontier, if you will, that we'll be looking at the gut microbiome and seeing the role that it might play. So lots of really cool stuff, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right, that's just day one.
Yeah.
All right, well, you've done a wonderful job planning the scientific session, and we hope that you can sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor this week.
Look forward to it.
Thank you so much. There is so much to see here on site. Make sure to stop by the sales pavilion on the upper level at the Shop Diabetes bookstore to stock up on the latest professional publications and resources and show your support with ADA gear. And don't miss the membership lounge. You can relax, have a snack, and charge your device while ADA staff answer any questions about membership renewal or benefit. And in the exhibit hall, the ADA booth is a must-see while you're here this week. There's growing evidence about how well diabetes devices work for people living with diabetes. With continuous glucose monitoring, patients are shown to have better diabetes management and outcomes, but not everyone has access. Diabetes Wise is a project led by Stanford professor Corey Hood, providing support for patients and providers alike.
Diabetes devices seem to help both glycemic outcomes, but also the quality of life, which is what a lot of individuals living with diabetes are really looking for.
We know that diabetes devices work, but there are a lot of challenges to using them. We know that people can't always access them, and we know that sometimes when they start them, they find parts of them that don't work great for their life. And so that's why we created Diabetes Wise.
Diabetes Wise is a free, unbiased, data-driven website to help get more people on devices. Diabetes Wise or Diabetes Wise Pro, anyone can use it.
Diabetes Wise lets people learn, hear stories from others living with diabetes. Clinicians can get real-time support down to insurance. What documentation do you need?
Because I actually have type 1 diabetes, I wanted to contribute to the community, seeing their improvements and with their A1C and glycemic variability made me super proud of my work here at Diabetes Wise.
Next up, let's explore the groundbreaking work at the Center for Advancing Population Science at the Medical College of Wisconsin and witness their quest to address structural inequalities impacting individuals with diabetes.
my work will continue to focus on 4 fundamental areas. First, we are dedicated to addressing the structural inequalities that affect the social and medical determinants of health in adults with diabetes. Second, we are committed to training the next generation of change agents in academic medicine, empowering them to make lasting contributions in the field. Third, we aim to empower communities through place-based initiatives and research that tangibly changes lives. And finally, we aspire to expand our impact internationally, contributing to the global fight against diabetes through innovative research. I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to share my journey with you today. I remain resolute in my mission to improve the lives of individuals living with diabetes. Together, we can make a difference and create a future where every person affected by this condition receives the care and support they deserve.
We finish our tour today in West Texas, where Texas Tech University's Department of Nutritional Sciences is conducting groundbreaking research to better understand how a virus could be the key to treating diabetes.
We started our research in this area many years ago when we discovered that a human virus called adenovirus 36 or AD36 causes obesity in animal models and is associated with human obesity. While studying that phenomenon, we also observed that that virus improves glucose levels in animals. So, taking a clue from that, we took a path to see if we can use that virus for improving diabetes. And now we ended up with identifying one protein of that virus, which we call inspirin. It's able to improve diabetes in various settings in various animal models. So our next steps include getting more information about inspirin so that we can apply for approval from the FDA.
Impressive work from the Lone Star State. That's a wrap on day 1 of ADA TV. From the 83rd scientific session at the San Diego Convention Center, we hope you've enjoyed this specially curated content and a look ahead at all the exciting things still to come this week. Remember, if you missed any part of today's episode, there are plenty of ways to catch up. You can watch on our TVs placed throughout the Convention Center, on the in-house channel at several of our partner hotels, on the shuttle buses to and from the venue, on the ADA Scientific Session website, and on our Twitter and YouTube pages. Thanks for joining us today. We will see you right back here tomorrow. From all of us at ADA TV, have a great day.